Warning, viewer discretion is advised. This is a squirrel hunting video. There are scenes of harvesting small game. Small game is legal to hunt in the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. 6 squirrels a day are permitted to be harvested during the small game season. This video was produced for promotion of small game hunting in PA. It helps inexperienced hunters gain basic knowledge and skills. Hey, stay tuned. I'm hunting squirrels today in Oil Creek State Park. I'm Mr. R, and this is the Rondinelli Project. It's a great day. It's perfect weather. It's a perfect spot for hunting squirrels, and I think it should be a pretty good day. At first, the squirrels were up in the trees. These are exactly the type of woods you want to look for. Early in the morning like this, squirrels will feed. They're not necessarily knocking nuts down yet, but they will. This squirrel is feeding on acorns, and I want to wait for this nervous little creature to stop moving around so much. That's when you take your shot. It is really critical to have your .22 well sighted in. You want to try to make a headshot or in that front shoulder in behind the front leg. I'm telling you, that target gets pretty small at 25 to 30 yards away. This is what it sounds like when a squirrel's barking, for those of you that might not be familiar with that sound. That's what you want to listen for when you're in the woods. You can hear them barking, and then you get in a position, you get into an area where you hear them, and then you wait for them to come out. That's the ideal way to do that. And it's better on calm days than it is on super windy days. But they love to bark. And they love to flick their tail when they're barking. This is a great place to hunt squirrels. It is a good combination of hardwoods, big timber, pines, and a lot of acorns, beech nut, a good nut crop for hunting squirrels. Find the feed and you will find the squirrels. They migrate to where the food is. If you have good acorns, beech nuts, hickory nuts, you'll find squirrels. When you use a .22, you have to take your time. But if you sit in one spot, the squirrels start to come out, and they aren't very afraid after a while. I shot this one, picked it up. Sometimes I won't pick them up right away. I remember where they're at, and as soon as I got back, there was another one right down the same spot, same area. And that's why I like the .22, but it takes time for a .22. You want to let the wood settle down, let the squirrels come out. This is a great way to build skills of using a rifle to hunt with a scope, especially for young hunters. I really encourage that you take young hunters squirrel hunting. It teaches them how to use the firearm properly, slow their shots down, learn how to breathe, and learn how to keep that scope on target. Makes it better for when they're hunting big game. Now, in Pennsylvania, the daily limit during small game season for squirrels is 6, any combined species. That's fox squirrel, gray squirrel, black squirrel, even red squirrel. I don't know anybody would shoot red squirrels, but anyway, here's a black, and he was just not sitting still. I had to wait for him to calm down. There were 2 or 3 black squirrels in here as well. This one finally gave me the opportunity for the shot. Even though you're allowed to harvest 6 squirrels a day, I usually don't do that. I know that this area has a lot of squirrel, so I'll leave those for another day or another hunter to enjoy the opportunity of harvesting squirrels. I ended up with a black and 3 grays that day. Not bad for a couple of hours in the woods. Oil Creek State Park is a great treasure for our local area. And I know there's a lot of hikers and campers and hunters and people that enjoy the outdoors. You need to get out there and do that. So here's a montage of some of the sights I saw that day. There's lots of history out there. The oil industry from the late 1800s, remnants of that still exists. This storage tank for oil from the old pumping wells. The remnants of Colonel Drake are everywhere. I came across this little porcupine. He looked like he was cold, so I thought I'd go in for a closer look. And he proceeded to show me, don't get too close because I'll turn my back to you and stick out my quills. Contrary to popular belief, they don't throw their quills. And that's how they defend themselves. No matter where you go, he kind of turns his back, and he wanted to get to his tree. He wasn't very big, he was small, but I thought he was kind of cool. He was camera shy. He just didn't like being filmed. They're not very fast, and I guess they don't need to be with the defense mechanism they have. So up the tree he went. And I just decided probably best to just leave him alone. You can hear him ticking, chattering. Until next time, little guy. There are lots of buck rubs in Oil Creek Park this year. They are everywhere. So this is what they look like for those of you that don't know, when they rub their horns against a tree. This little guy came out underneath the log I was sitting on. It was warm that day, and he came out to get warmed up. And he or she just didn't want to move. Then I came across some turkeys. Of course, it was the day before turkey season. But it was nice to see the birds anyway. So there you have it. Squirrel hunting in Oil Creek State Park, as well as some of the sights of nature and history. Get your 22 and go hunt some squirrel. So that's squirrel hunting in Oil Creek State Park. Now I get asked a lot of times, how do I film my videos when I'm by myself and I don't have a cameraman? And I'll show you exactly how I do that. I put together just a little tip here. I thought it would be helpful for those that like to film themselves out in nature. This is my 22. This is what I use. It's just a GoPro clamp and a phone holder. And I just jerry-rigged this with some different fittings. And I put this on my scope and I tighten it down. Make sure it's good and snug. Looks like this. Then I take my phone. I put my phone in here. And that holds my phone. And you can see here, I can see right through the scope and see what I'm also filming. My phone is mounted to scope, and that way I can take video of what I'm aiming at. And that is how I shot the squirrel video at Oil Creek State Park. And you can rotate this as needed, and it works pretty well. That's how it was done. I hope you liked that video. I hope that it had some information makes it helpful. Get your 22, grab it, get it sighted in, go to Oil Creek, go to wherever you hunt that has squirrel, look for the right kind of woods, and have some fun. Take a kid hunting. It teaches them the skills to shoot, and without the recoil of a high-powered rifle, like you would have for big game. So I'm Mr. R, this is the Rondinelli Project, and until next time, we gone.